Okay. Personal branding and visibility consultant. I would love to talk to you about that, by the way, because I'm working on my personal brand, as you can see. Um, the He's a Pisces and you're a Virgo. It sounds like you guys are a little bit on the outs right now. It sounds like things are down right now. You don't really have to answer that. I'll pull that out of the cards probably. Um, but um, but I just wanted you to know that that's the initial hypothesis that I'm working with. Um, cool. As you can see, my stream might look a little intimidating, but I am very friendly, actually. Um, oof. Wait, how do I do this? Sorry, I'm just adapting to my new. Uh, I've sort of figured out this streaming situation. I'm kind of adapting to it. So this is the first card out. It's the Seven of Pentacles, or Seven of Discs, depending on the deck you're using. Um, it's called Failure in this deck. I don't like that title for it. The proper title for this card is The Lord of the Illusion of Failure. Oh, fantastic! I would love to talk about it for hours, even though I'm sure you don't have hours. Um, so this is Failure. The full title is The Lord of the Illusion of Failure. The illusion of failure. It, this The pentacle suit tells the story of the harvest, and this is a moment where the crops appear to fail, but then they don't. Then they go on and yield a lot of prosperous and bountiful results. So I think that this is the heart of the matter. There is certainly the appearance of failure. There is certainly the appearance that things are going wrong. I don't, from this card itself, I don't have any insight into whether or not these things are irresolvable, or whether maybe this is something you're doing to yourself. Maybe there's just anxiety, and you're dreaming up ways that things can go horribly wrong. Um, it But this card points to your anxiety more than it does to the state of affairs with Robert himself. That does Well, we have a long way to go in this reading. As you can see, there are 10 cards in it. By the way, keep talking. I like in my day job when I read tarot cards, uh, people are very reserved, and it's nice to it's nice to have more of a conversation. Um, so this is the 10 of Wands. Um, this is hard energy for sure. The 10 of Wands is um, it's an ending technically, and it's like an angry ending. The astrology that underpins the card is Saturn in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius desires things, Saturn says no. Saturn is the planet of limitations. Saturn limits things. Sagittarius is very expansive energy. You can see how there would be a conflict between these two things. There, it's also a 10. 10s tend to be endings. So there's not only do I think that things are down between you guys, there might be anger, there might be frustration, there might be like acrimony there. It might be organized around the fact that Robert and probably you as well are not getting what you want out of this relationship. You may well just not be getting your needs met. Next out is the Two of Cups. This is love. I think that you guys really do love each other. Um, there really is heart there. It's almost in a way that's sad. Seeing the ten of Wands and the Two of Cups together in this way feels sad. The Tower moment you experienced. Do you read cards? Um, just curious. Again, that language, the Tower moment you experienced, sounds like you might. But there is love in the subconscious. I do want to take this one step further, though, and say that it's not just about you and Robert. Oh, yeah, I want to say that this love card, this Two of Cups card, isn't just about you and Robert. I think that you are a gross, disgusting, hopeless romantic. In the worst way. It's the most endearing quality that a person can have. I think you like slow dancing and flowers and candies and all of that kind of stuff. I think you want to be swept off your feet. I think that you are a believer in love. I think that you have you're probably the kind of person who will stick it out till the end on account of a certain emotional um, uh, um, fidelity, something like this. This love card does seem to speak to you and Robert, but also it speaks to your character. It speaks to something about you, and it speaks to something about your motivations as well. I think that you are very motivated by love. Um, Next out is the Lust card. Um, yeah. Uh, this is another thing that I'd love to talk to you about. I'd love to just like have to shoot the shit with you at some point, whenever you have the chance. Um, so next out is the Lust card. Um, this card in the Rider Waite deck is called Strength. but it is the same card. 8 the guy who made the Rider-Waite deck was a devout Christian. So he was very uncomfortable with sex. The Rider-Waite deck is fairly sexist, or not sexist, sexless. Yeah, so that's part of it, for sure. But there's another layer of the lust card. I think that the background of this situation is one that has a matter to it. I think that there may have been a lot of synchronicities, for instance. There may have been things working out when it seemed like there was no possible way they could. There may have been a number of different uh, things in your life. Like the lust card is about desire. Really, it should be called desire. And this card is about the world organizing itself around your desires. So this is something like this magic. 11, of course, is the number of magic, and in the Thoth system, this card is the 11th card. The 11th major arcana card. And yeah, I think there's a magical quality at work here. Now, I want to go one step further and again say that this is not just about you and Robert. I think that this says something about your character. I think that you have a touch of magic about you. I don't know if that bleeds over into the relationship. It might. But I think that really what this is about is that you're probably pretty used to getting what you want. I think you're probably used to getting your way. Next out is the Queen of Cups. Yeah. The lust card. Remember that Aleister Crowley was an edge lord, so sometimes he says lust because he wants to emphasize the sexual dimension of the card, and that dimension of the card is for sure there. However, the card is just much more robust than merely that, right? I hope. I mean, you seem like the type who either would be a practitioner or could be a practitioner, and I sort of hope that you pursue that. Um, Next out, by the way, is the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is very likely to be you, and it's this is some saint energy. I think you're a catch girl. I think that you're very loving. I think you're very much in the heart. I think you're very giving. You're probably. It wouldn't shock me if you volunteered in a soup kitchen, for instance, right? The Queen of Cups. Um, uh, she walks morning. She holds the hand of the broken. There's also some maternal character here, so I don't get the impression that you are a mother, though I could be wrong. But I think you would be a good one should you ever choose to take that path. Next out is the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands in the future. Tell me if this describes Robert, because it's going to determine how I think this is going to go. Yeah, you're clearly a catch. Um, uh, this is going to determine how I think things are going to go. Uh, Whoever this person is, this Knight of Wands, they are very charming. They are very outgoing. They're very extroverted. They're probably talkative, passionate, creative, intense. All of their energy is flowing outwards, right? They're very, they're always ready with a story and a joke. Um, yeah, I get the vibe that that you'd be a wonderful mom. I can't really like discern that without meeting you, but uh, from the cards, it appears that way. Um, so does that describe Robert? Is he a very outgoing person? Is he the kind of person who's always ready with a story and a joke? Is he charismatic? Do people like to be around him? Its answer is no, by the way. You're not take that as insulting him. There are just different personality types, and that Knight of Wands is very, very, very outward flowing, very again charismatic. That's his like superpower. Interesting. I'm skeptical that this is him. Actually, I don't think that Knight of Wands is him. Uh, it it might be. Even though you said yes, I feel like this Knight of Pentacles might be a better fit for him. But you tell me. I'm sure you know the kind of person I'm talking about when I describe the Knight of Wands. This is another person. This is the Knight of Pentacles. This is um, this is somebody who is, yeah, this feels. So the Knight of Pentacles is someone who is a really hard worker above all. Like if the Knight of Wands, if their superpower is being charismatic and like being magnetic towards people, the Knight of Pentacles is his superpower is labor. He's in the hands. He's extraordinarily polite. He's uh, he's very well mannered, probably physically quite strong. He might move a little slow. Um, he's very practical, um, very pragmatic. He prefers to focus on the task at hand. Um, yeah, that's why I was saying that I think the Knight of Pentacles is the better fit. Um, the which tells me something interesting. I know that you guys are long distance, even stretching continents. Is there another gentleman? No judgment here whatsoever, but is there another gentleman that you have your eye on or something like that? Maybe I should ask also if you're monogamous. If you're long distance and you're a continent away, um, then there's some chance that you're not monogamous. But is there another gentleman who might fit that Knight of Wands? Might fit that Knight of Wands description maybe a little bit better. Okay. Okay. I'm still putting this together in my head, so I don't want to make any calls about your future quite yet. But we'll get there. Next out is the universe, or in the Rider-Waite deck, it's called the world. This is about plans coming to fruition. It's about manifestation. It's about, you have an idea, like a painter has an idea for a painting, and then they paint it. As far as I know, human beings are the only creatures on the planet that do this. This is supposed to be one of the ways in which we are made in the image of God. In fact, the we have this creative capacity. We have the capacity to create. However, in order to create, you have to do a lot of mental and intellectual labor first, and then you build a thing. If you want to build a house, for instance, you need an idea for the house. You need to care about that idea, because otherwise you're not going to do anything. Then you need plan the house, right? You ultimately need to build the damn thing, and the universe card is building the damn thing. It is bringing this thing into being, whatever it is. Now, I don't read reversals, by the way, but a potential reversed understanding of this card would be something like the inability to bring plans to fruition, the inability to keep a promise, the inability to fulfill a thing. You might be confronted by that at the moment. It sounds like you're confronted by that at the moment. And so I am tempted to read this as that. It is the universe does suggest an ending. And in this case, it seems like it's an ending that is an ending simply because it can't be instantiated into the world. It can't be realized as a real world day-to-day thing. That, at the very least, that's a possible reading. That feels right to me, though. That does feel right to me. What's up, Leah B. Jube, if I am pronouncing that right? Next out is the Ace of Ace of Wands is fire. It is the root of fire. This is under hopes and fears. I think that you might be in a little bit of, yeah, I think you might be in a little bit of a rut, by the way. I'm not totally sure if this has to do with strictly with Robert, or if it's a broader life thing. Leah, this is a very standard tarot deck. It's a Thoth deck, so it's a little different from the Rider-Waite, but it is 78 cards, and the cards have their traditional meanings and correspondences. So yes, this is a normal type of tarot. And how do my readings work? I do a 10-card spread. It would be complicated and distracting to really delve into that question, but I do a 10-card spread. So Saren, this is the Ace of Wands, and I think that, or this is under hopes and fears. I think that you're hoping for something that excites you. I think that Wands is fire. Fire is vitality, right? It's life force. It's being filled with life, and I think you're looking for a new beginning at this level. My feeling is that that even if there isn't somebody else right now, I think that I wish you the best. I hope that's true. Um, uh, my suspicion is that even if this relationship isn't over, and even if you're not totally aware of it, I think your eye might be starting to wander a little bit. Um, yeah, you can get a reading as well. That's fine. Um, your eye might be starting to Leah, I am doing readings for free. I heavily encourage donations. I am coming up on rent, and I desperately need to pay it. So I heavily encourage donations at the moment, but I am doing these for free. Saren, I think that your eye might be starting to wander a little bit, and you might not be totally aware of it. Um, um, this Ace of Wands in the hopes and fears position. Um, yeah, that's kind of the feeling that I get. The Ace of Wands in hopes and fears, and then this Knight of Wands in the future suggests to me that that a part of you, maybe not a part of you that you're quite ready to own up to. Um, uh, uh, Mary, I will happily tend to that question. Um, uh, Let me finish this reading first, and then I'll move on to yours. Okay. Um, he must. Yeah, this Knight of Wands in the future, and this Ace of Wands in the present, suggesting that you want something like that. You want something exciting. You want something life giving, and it feels like uh, you said you've been in a rut for a few years. It sounds like you're on in a down period with Robert, so we could say that that's in a rut too. And it sounds like you're longing for something that will excite you, and that you you might find that. You might find another person. Like this feels like what the cards are saying is that there's a wish that you're making subconsciously that you're not quite ready to own up to, and whether you like it or not, that wish is going to be granted ultimately. Love it. You get my favorite card in the deck, or one of them, at least. I try not to say my favorite card in the deck because I end up saying that about like 10 cards. And it confuses people. But it's one of my favorite cards in the deck. This is the Princess of Cups. By the way, somebody asked if this is a standard tarot deck. The court cards are different from the Rider Waite tarot deck, which is the quote unquote standard tarot deck. The pages are called princesses in the Thoth system. Yeah. That's a good way to think about it. The Four of Wands and the Chariot. Those are two different cards. So you really like the Four of Wands and the Chariot? The Empress is great. The thing that the Empress as a card is very simple. And I always find that I don't have that much to say about her. I love her energy more than most other cards. But I feel like I don't have that much to say about her. for better or for worse. But this is the Princess of Cups, otherwise known as the Page of Cups. The This is you. This is you, and it's. I think that you probably don't actually embody this aesthetic, but I think of the Princess of Cups as being the goth girl at the party, by which I mean she's not the center of attention. I don't think she wants to be the center of attention. Instead, she's off to the side, like there's a crowd of people, but she's off to the side with a group of 5 people talking very intensely about things that she cares about. And she cares deeply about things. She has deeply held opinions. She has deeply held beliefs. And her, but she does not care. The Empress. That's an interesting reading of the Empress. I have to think about that. Um, um, I have to think that that is not how I would understand her. I would think of the Queen of Swords as being that. Um, but the Empress for sure has like a lot of girl power, goddess energy going on in it. Yeah, I think you've been self-isolating, and I think that but I think that you have a gift, and I think that gift is that you don't really give a fuck what anyone thinks about you. There may be some party girl energy to you. Um, uh, I think that, and I also think that you're quite discerning. I think that you care about the things that you care about, and you simply don't care about the things that you don't care about. And it's probably very difficult for you to feign caring about something that you don't care about. That set of cups is all in the heart. She is, if she is in some sense one of the more tender cards in the deck, but all of the princesses signify a certain kind of freedom from social norms. I think that you march to the beat of your own drum. I think you're very much an individual, and I think that this is a really beautiful quality. And I think that I think that given where you're at in life, yeah, your if you're characterized by the Princess of Cups, and you are also in the position that you've described, you're probably really primed and ready for some handsome Lothario to sweep you off your feet, and to make you feel like the most special woman in the world. Not like that isn't already true. But to make you feel like the most special woman in the world, to make you feel alive, to make you feel like you're getting your groove back, and all of those kinds of things. It doesn't seem like Robert is doing that job. It doesn't seem like he's meeting those emotional needs for you. And I do expect that it's highly likely that someone will. I think that someone will fill that vacuum. And I think you have a choice to make. Whether or not things are I don't want to say things are over with Robert, because I think that's a choice on your part. But I think even if you continue with Robert for a little bit, you will have to choose between him and somebody who is much more available, and you're gonna get. I feel like you're gonna be bowled over by what's sometimes called new relationship energy. Um, uh, Mind you, I also want to emphasize that this Knight of Wands isn't necessarily a good guy. I just think that you're going to be attracted to him. I don't want to make any like claims about his moral character. Um, uh, so I think those are things that you're going to have to feel out. Um, uh, but I do think that you're waiting to be charmed, even if you wouldn't consciously think that right off the bat. Does this all make sense to you? I'm sure there's details about that I got wrong, but nonetheless. Saren, where are you located? Are you in the U.S.? Oh no. It may be serious, by the way. Uh, it may not be. I just don't want to. I don't see enough. I can't see enough about this person, and I can't see enough about your dynamic with this person to really make calls about whether they're a good guy or whether it would be a serious, like marriage, kids kind of thing. It's quite difficult for me to Right on. Well, again, I would love to talk to you about personal branding stuff because, as you can see, I'm putting a lot of thought into it. Um, but I do believe I have a couple more readings on the table before I start talking about things. So, Saren, can you do me a favor? Can you, I think you're on YouTube. Can you like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things? And Saren, maybe some people can see that far ahead. I don't claim to be able to. I try to be quite humble as a reader. Um, the, yeah, like, share, subscribe, comment, and come back. Keep up with me. Come back for more readings and stuff. I like you, and I'd like to continue this discourse. And I'm working on kind of community building and all of this kind of stuff. So, and I also am just curious where this is going to go. Fabulous. Thank you so much. Also, I'm going to be a prick and uh, uh, just gesture is something I hate doing, but I've got to do it if I'm going to pay my rent. So it does mean a lot, and it helps the channel a lot. So there are other people in here who wanted readings.